What would I do without knitting? Probably 25 to life. Hi there, welcome to Yarns and Yarns, episode 23.1. My name is Shay McIntosh Ford, and I live in Tulsa with my husband, our 2 boys, and our spoiled little puppy. This is a show about yarns as in fibers and yarns as in stories, and today is all about the fibers. I'm mostly a knitter, and this entire episode is all about the knitting, but I also crochet and do a little bit of cross stitch, and I'm trying to get into spinning too. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry, and I will link all that down below. I will also link any patterns, yarns that I can find. Some I think are discontinued, but anything linkable will go down below. This is a vlog about how my week went with knitting. Halfway through, it went a little sideways. With that said, here we go. So there's my sock. There's my sock bag with my yarn cake in it right there. And there's my yarn barf. It looks like I'm going to be knitting a little bit more than I anticipated this morning on my sock. So I did today's square. It is the Felice bear dyed with Kool-Aid that I did myself. Today was definitely a knitting day. I could not focus on any writing at all. I don't think that's gonna happen until the boys go back to school and Leo goes back to work. So I went ahead and completed my second tube. This stitch marker is where I was the last time you saw it, not counting when I showed you my yarn barf. I was about here during the yarn barf, and I did all of that. I think I did some of this last night, but I basically did all of that today. Second tube is done. Heels are going in tomorrow. I am exhausted. I was ready to go to sleep at 5 o'clock this afternoon, like sleep for the night, but I can't do that because I got family. So I push through, but I'm probably gonna go to bed early tonight. I did try a little bit more of hubby's sleeve. I took them out. These are the Chalgu bamboos. Bamboo just doesn't work with acrylic, I'm sorry. It is really, it's hard on your hands because it just doesn't move very well. I did put them on these needles, which I thought, well, duh, mom sent me metal 16-inch cords, but then as I'm working, I realize it's one size up. There's no labeling on these needles, and I don't have a needle gauge, so I just use my tape measure, and yeah, they're 5 millimeters, not 4.5. I'm gonna have one row that's a little bigger, but that's okay. It's just mostly to hold it, so they're on here, and I kind of want to work on them, but it's gonna look funny with the rest of it not being the same gauge. Gonna move my marker after I get another couple rows in. But yeah, I only did one round on the sleeve, which is like nothing. I really want some metal needles that work right so I can finish this thing. So hard to get things done when people are home. I did my square today. And it was just another Andy's wool. The Andy socks, got the alpaca in it, so it's nice and soft. Working on my 3rd row. I'm going to put in the desert rose right here. It's going in tomorrow. Got my heels done, both heels. Look how beautiful they are. I would get in close, but my ring light doesn't like this. It blows it out. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is showing these again tomorrow. But I finished them today. If you look at my heels, they look inverted, the colors. When I finished, I did this heel first. So when I finished this tube, I didn't ball up the yarn. I just started this heel that I'd already put the needles in for. I started this heel out of the cake, and that's what I got. When I went to do this heel, the next color was the pink, the light pink, and I didn't want to do the light pink because the light pink was here. I wanted to do a different color. Oh, hi, Scout. You're so cute. So I wanted to do a different color, so I balled up the cake and it turned out that every end was the light pink except for the other ball, which was started with this color. So once you ball it up, the colors become inverted. So that's why my heels are inverted colors. They almost match. They're off by like half a stripe, but that's okay. I don't mind. They're so beautiful. I love them. And once I show them in the natural light where you can see them up close, I'm gonna wear them. Nice. My yarn bag is empty, nothing in it. I gotta put something in there, right? I've caked up the Regia yarn. Oh, and I'm gonna show it to you tomorrow because it's getting blown out. But that's it. It's still beautiful. Oh, this is not bad. It's like a tartan when it's like this. I love it. It is still kind of getting blown out. So pretty. So this is the tag. It is $75.25. And the colorway, well, it's on the price tag. Colorway is rose. This is a dusty rose. It's called rose, the colorway is rose, but this is my Jonesin for a dusty rose. So, oh, I love it. So beautiful. I'll be casting this on probably tomorrow. There we go. Now you can see them in all their wonderful, colorful glory. They're so beautiful. Oh, I love it. So pretty. Look at that. Okay, now I can take them off and wear them. And look, they fit me perfectly. I love it. So pretty. Here's my square, and because there is just this teeny tiny little bit of pink here, I'm just gonna keep going with the next square because it's gonna be a totally different color. Still going with the desert rose for my next square. I did manage to get my next cast on. So this is the Regia sock, the rose colorway, the dusty rose color. Not much to see. Maybe I'll have a little bit more tomorrow. It is New Year's Day. I'm still in my PJs because hubby and Charlie are still asleep, and so I'm kind of keeping my voice low. New Year's Eve I couldn't. I did a little bit of knitting, but I couldn't get the recording done. There was too much going on with New Year's Eve. We just stayed home, but we were doing things as a family for New Year's Eve. But here's my square from yesterday. I keep showing you the wrong side. So there's the square, and this is what's going in today. This is actually, I believe this orange is from Red Rocks. The yellow is the waist yarn from Regia, and this sort of pinkish red is from those dragon scale gloves that I'd made a while back. There's going to be a lot of weave and Steven going on because I'm not doing magic knot anymore. So this is going to be another Franken square. And yesterday I did some sock knitting. That's it. Just the cuff and about 12 rows or so. This is yesterday's square that I didn't finish until today, just now, this afternoon. It's 3 different yarns, secondary Franken square. Today, I'm gonna try to put this one in. This is to Rob Creations hand-dyed natural dye yarn with Story to the Sun, avocado, and onion skins. It's going to be a knitting day because we just found out hubby tested positive for COVID. We're both fully vaxxed and boosted, so his symptoms are extremely mild. I've had a sore throat and some headaches occasionally since they got back, so I might be positive as well. The boys are fine. They're both fully vaccinated, and they haven't been complaining about anything. Problem is that they probably will not be able to start school on Tuesday. I'm not even going to worry about trying to get any writing time in. It's going to be knitting and reading. Some physical reading, but mostly listening to audiobooks. Knitting to keep me sane. I did get some work on my sock done. That's where I was the last time you saw it. Yeah, sorry it gets blown out. I just love the colors. Beautiful pinks. I did this mostly because we were playing a board game. From here I did this while we were playing a board game and during online worship service this morning. And it'll probably have a lot more done by tomorrow. Stress knitting, right. It's comfort knitting, not stress knitting. And I know I wore this sweater and hat earlier this week, but I just did laundry and it is super cold today. The high is 32. I wanted to wear it again. This is my Weasley sweater that I made a few years ago, and I don't remember if I showed it the last time I wore it. It's a nice, cozy, warm sweater, and my heater just kicked on because it's cold. All right, what are we doing, guys?
World box.
Why are we sitting in the car for hours?
Because we're waiting on the really long line.
You wanna see how long it is?
COVID testing. It's way longer than that.
It's even longer than this.
We've been waiting for about 2 hours now.
It wraps around, and no, we've been waiting for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, hour and a half.
Fortunately, I brought my knitting, and that is how much I've gotten done in the last hour and a half. And I think I might just make it to the heel, because this is crazy. After we got tested, we decided to go back and drive around back to the line to see how long it was. So that's what this next clip is. It's kind of hard to hear because of the engine noise, but at one point you hear me say, "That's where the guy cut me." And that's because shortly after the previous clip, I chose not to block a cross street. This guy in a pickup truck just decided to take advantage of that and got right in front of me. So we waited online for close to 4 hours, and the guy in front of me only waited for an hour and 45 minutes.
People can be rude.
And this is why I knit. I need my sanity. So yeah, this next clip is how long the line got after we were done. Okay. I'm just curious to see if it's still back where we were or if it's shorter or longer.
Longer than before.
It sure is.
This is, like, around here was about where we got in.
I think so.
Yeah, we got in right here.
Yeah, that's where we started.
Yeah, he was right here. That's crazy.
It's longer now. So long.
There's the end of it.
These people are gonna be in line for a very long time.
I would say 5 hours.
Yep.
At least. If not more.
Yikes.
That's crazy. Alright. So I did indeed get past my heel. This is actually where I was in the car, so I didn't move the progress keeper. So this is how much I got done for the 4 hours. Close to 4 hours. Glad I brought my knitting with me. I kind of wish that I had brought a book too. There were times when it was hard to knit because we were, especially when we got closer because we were moving. So it would have been nice to have something to read instead. I would have done an audiobook, but Charlie monopolized my phone. Knitting it was. And I never did share my square. So this was the day before yesterday's square. And technically this is yesterday's square. After all of that, I didn't feel like recording. In fact, I should have had this episode up this morning at 6 a.m., but it wasn't going to happen. So it'll be up on the right day, just not at the right time. But this is what's going in here. And it's going to be a Weave and Steven because this is from those Dragon Scale mitts where I had to cut all the cool colors out because I only wanted the warm colors. basically from this yarn, but I only got a couple rows done of the next square. So this is yesterday's square. I don't know what I'm going to put in for my today's square. These will find out at the next episode. And that's all I have this week. It was a crazy one. I hope you get to work with all the fibers. I hope it keeps you sane like it does for me. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them down below. I would love to read them. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye. This is a show about oh. So what? Your cheeks are all red from the VR. Is this weird?